Are you feeling uninspired? You want to sit down and make something, but it just doesn't happen? Maybe you just want to recapture your desire to create,
but you keep getting caught up in the distractions that life throws at you. Here are 5 of my most effective ways to get out of a creative rut. My first tip: change your environment. Go do something else. Go somewhere else. Take this as your permission. Go for a walk and you might see something or someone that provides you just the right spark of inspiration. Try to pay attention to your surroundings and the details of life. How the light hits the leaves, the colors of the flowers, and how beautiful the sky is.
And not to sound too hokey,
but take a moment to appreciate where you are and how far you've come. It's like that somewhat meme quote, there are cathedrals everywhere for those with eyes to see. Changing your environment inspires fresh ideas by mixing up your routine. If your day-to-day routine is not conducive to creativity, why not mix it up? But truly, there is so much to appreciate in this world and so much beauty in the little moments of life. Get out there and experience it. This might be uncomfortable, but take some time to self-reflect. Ask yourself, what is holding you back? Is it the fear of perfection? Is it the idea that your idea will not be good enough? Are you comparing your work to masters or your peers? Figure out what's stopping you. Ask yourself, what do I have to gain by not working on my creative pursuit? I found in my experience that we fear to create because if we actually make something, it takes away our power to look at someone else's work and say, I could have done that. If I actually create something, then I have to contend with myself that whatever I've created may not be good enough and live up to my expectations. But that's okay. It can be something different and something new. You also don't need to show what you make to anyone. If you make something and it's not up to your standards, who cares? You're just weeding out bad ideas. Or maybe this idea will be the start of your next hit and you're just working through the iterations. That's something I've picked up from visiting museums and galleries. Many artists make multiple versions of their pieces, so why are you expecting to get it exactly right in the first try? Another thing is that you may be looking at a professional's piece that took 100 hours and saying to yourself, wow, I'd love to make something like that. Then you finally sit down to draw it and you don't even know where to start. That can cause a lot of frustration. What's been really helpful for me is to break down the piece into a project plan. Yes, this is very type A of me, but I find listing out all the steps to actually finish a piece to be very helpful. For example, when I'm working on a watercolor and ink piece, my steps can be extensive. Seeing it all laid out like that makes you take a step back and have more realistic expectations for your project, which I find very helpful. Breaking down a large project into small, actionable steps is another great way to get over art block. By the way, I'm an artist, so I'm using a lot of art-related examples, but these tips apply to any sort of creative. Sculptors, musicians, writers, filmmakers, and even entrepreneurs. This might be controversial in a video about art block and creativity, but clean your environment. For me personally, it's tough to work and get ideas flowing when my space is too cluttered and busy. I also think when we are stuck on something, cleaning our environment is a really nice, tangible way to make progress. It's satisfying when the visual clutter goes away, especially since it feels like, I did something. It's an easy way to check something off your list and start building momentum. By the way, this Monstera plant is pretty crazy. It's like having a jungle in your home. The one tip here is to keep it manageable. You can have the best intentions of tidying up your room, but you could be putting clothes away in your closet and see something you want to look at, and it ends up being a couple hours later, and all you've done is just read through your old homework while wearing a funny hat. Keep it manageable is what I'm saying, and stay locked in. Another thing to throw out here is to step away from your phone, even if it's for 20 minutes. Set a timer for 20 minutes and see how much you can get done. Phones are the bane of productivity, and trust me, I know. Next, if I'm trying to spark some creativity, I find it helpful to fill my well of inspiration. Inspiration doesn't even need to be art related. I personally have a folder on my phone of screenshots of projects I'd like to do in the future. Some of it may be a color combination that I like, or a shirt pattern that I think would be a good background. Another way to fill your well is to watch a new movie or TV show without your phone and really try to pay attention to the framing, music, cinematography, the color choices, etc. It's also helpful to reference artists throughout history. There's no need to reinvent the wheel and have every single thing you produce be completely original. The artists before us paved the way, and it'd be a shame to throw away everything they have learned. For me personally, sometimes just sitting down and drawing what's in front of me is a great way to start as well. Maybe it's the plant or the teacup in front of me. Drawing from your own life and space is an easy way to get something on the page and get the wheels turning. And last but not least, give your ideas space. Don't judge your idea before it's even out of your brain. Maybe you have an inkling of something, but you don't know if it's good or not. Just put it down on the page. Get a starting point. It doesn't have to be your next gallery piece right then and there. Something I like to remind myself of is it takes time, not only for the art process itself, but for the ideas to fully realize themselves. Be nice to yourself. The universe is wide and the possibilities are endless.